Except you don't travel on the roads, but we all do, at least most of us do, and we know these people. They are celebrities of sorts, even though we don't always celebrate when we approach them. There's always that fear, particularly if your papers are not complete or there's just some issue with your vehicle. And this morning, we're having that all-important conversation about transportation safety on the roads. Mr. Akin George Fashola, the Chief Vehicle Inspection Officer, Lagos State, joins us on the morning brief. Good morning, Mr. Fashola.
Good morning. How are you?
We're well, actually. It's great to have you in our studio. We're used to seeing you on the roads or where we come to do our vehicle inspection. And I wonder first how you always take the perception that people have of the average VIO, that's the officer,
yes,
of the VIS, that's the service. Most people aren't fans of you. People see you as a clog in the wheel of progress, people that would delay me where I'm going to, stopping me for flimsy reasons, some of them taking kickbacks, or some just see you actually as people who look away when, you know, commercial vehicles are not roadworthy and they focus on private vehicles. How do you handle all of that perception before we break down your, your functions, essentially?
Okay. So I like to equate it as this. Nigerians in general have what I call too much TV. So a lot of people watch TV and see westernized world and romanticize it and think everything that happens there should happen here. Well, it's not quite the same. So you have to gain a level of infrastructure capacity to get to that level. And I think over the years, I haven't always lived here, but I think over the years, that level of infrastructure hasn't been there. You will agree with me, Lagos State is trying very hard to get to that level. But it takes time, it takes discipline, it takes commitment on both sides, not just the government, as well as the citizen. You have to be willing to accept modernized ways of doing things as opposed to this is the way we've always done it. You know, so the challenge in introducing new ways of doing things and the acceptance by the people is always a very tough battle. I understand what you mean by, people see them as whatever, but the goal for the service, which is the vehicle inspection service, is to get away from that level of process and procedures to a place where I don't need to stop you on the road. I don't need to engage you. But that takes a lot of infrastructure to do that. Like, the mailing system, the messaging system, the willingness of the people to accept technology and not always rely on old and antiquated methods of doing things. That's just the key there. And we have been trying to invigorate the service to bring us a level of technological advances so that, you and I own cars too, I don't always wear the uniform, can go about and do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it.
So let's break it down. This, I'm sure, is Nigeria's most natural question, especially those of us who live in Lagos.
Yes.
When you're driving,
yes,
you see the FRSC. The next time you see the police. And then next time you see the VIO. Please help us unpack whose responsibility is what. Maybe start with yours. Maybe you can't speak for the police or the FRSC. What exactly is your job as VIO so that when they do the wrong thing, we're able to call your attention to it?
Thank you. Okay, so primary assignment for vehicle inspection officers is to make sure that the vehicle that anybody is driving at any given time on state roads fall within the guidelines of state law, which is to be at least decent in physical appearance, documented, and safe to drive on state roads. That's the primary assignment. And also to make sure that you are driving the vehicle are authorized and licensed to do so. Pure and simple. Police can do the job of VIO because it's part of a security challenge. You know, if you don't have identification for a vehicle, you pose a risk. It's part of their encompassing role as security officers. They can stop you at any time, ask for the same documents that we ask, and go further. Federal road safety, by mandate, they are supposed to safeguard the operation of vehicular activities on interstate roads. They are federal, so they have jurisdictions and stuff like that. But, you know, from time to time, we engage, whether it be federal or whether it be state. But for the most part, they are limited to that.
So it is not VIO's job to arrest anybody who is using the wrong way. Is it your job?
It can be. I said the primary role is vehicular activities.
Okay.
It can be a further assignment. You're still breaking a traffic offense, and under state law, any agency that is in an enforcement mode can assist in that particular assignment.
The challenge, sorry, Bukola, before I go, the challenge we feel sometimes is the fact that we don't know whether it's VIO, FRSC, or the police, but since you're the VIS person, let's pose that question to you. The challenge is that we feel it's either the VIO, they are overwhelmed by the behavior of some of the yellow buses, because the zeal with which they come at people like us, middle class, and other people, you can't compare that zeal and zest with the way they come at, you know, maybe the regular transport operators who uses the yellow bus. So I want you to speak to that.
Okay, it's a fair question, and I've heard that so many times. So having said that, our mandate is all vehicles, but this year, like I said, I haven't heard that complaint before so many times. This year, our focus for our officers is the commercial transporters. So I'm at a level where I'm comfortable with the technology the state has developed and put on the road to take care of private citizens. You will hardly see Lagos State vehicle inspection officers disturbing private citizens on the road. So it's a matter of 2024, we are facing commercial entities because there are just so many of them, and it's about high time we change our focus, we change our procedures, our approach to get those numbers down to a suitable level. So yes, I agree with you for the most part, and like I said earlier, the technology that we've applied so far will take care of the citizens for the most part. But having said that, even private citizens have very bad cars, so we have to keep that in mind. But my main goal for this year is the commercial activities.
Okay, so Jeffrey's question is very instructive, and I'm going to follow up on that. But first of all, I wonder if you've clarified whether it's also part of the VIO's mandate to arrest vehicles that drive against traffic. Is it part of the VIO's?
It can be. As a law enforcement agency, we take on assignments that sometimes are not first priority, but driving one way or driving against traffic is a priority offense. Any agency that's in law enforcement will tackle that head on. So it's an addition. It's not a primary focus for us, but it's an addition, and we can when we see it happen sometimes, but you hardly ever see us do that.
So if it is, well, there's so many other moving parts to that, but if it is, would it be also instructive for the service to consider taking up as part of its jurisdiction the need to ensure that a lot of, you know, streets in Lagos and communities in trunk B roads have those signs that point to the fact that, okay, this road is a one-way road, hence some vehicles cannot come this way or that way, because there are quite a number of them in Lagos, and motorists, unsuspecting motorists, run into either it's a VIO or the national police, members of the national police force, who arrest them, and then they were not aware that they were they were not supposed to drive against traffic on that road.
Okay, so that's a very good question, and the simple answer is the Ministry of Transportation do actually put those signs up. Let me explain. 90% of the time, they are stolen because of the materials they're made of.
They are stolen?
Yes, they are.
And you can prove that they're stolen?
Absolutely. They steal them all the time because a lot of them are made of aluminium. And so we are looking at ways to redefine how we process and how we install them. So sometimes, I'm not disputing the fact that some places don't have the signage, but I'm saying the places that where we put the signage, they get stolen. Okay, so as VIO officers are concerned, what we do is when we know a particular one-way street or place is missing a signage, we recommend, it is not a primary assignment to dictate that, but we recommend that they've taken the signs out of this place, we need to reinstall.
I'd like us to speak to this particular video we're seeing here. So there's a sign that says no entry, right? And by the way, we've seen vehicles enter, but you can see yellow buses obstructing other vehicles, so they can't see. So this is two questions in one. You said that you're focusing on commercial vehicles this year. So it looks like maybe at least half of the commercial vehicles we see on the roads will probably be taken. They'll be gone. Because a lot of them, or at least you give them recommendations to fix up. If it's not their windshield, I mean, there's this video that was making around. You saw a commercial vehicle using leaves.
There's a lot of them.
As a wiper and the rest. But you also have vehicles just clearly obstructing these signs.
This is not far away from us, by the way. This is around Opik.
So it's no entry, but you see vehicles obstructing that.
I can see that. So that mandate, like I said before, vehicle inspection officers will now recommend to Ministry of Environment to look into this case where you have obvious litter of abandoned or maybe derelict vehicles that are obstructing free flow of traffic. That is also a mandate for LASMA, the traffic management.
I forgot that.
Yes. So that's one of their primary assignments. So this would be right in the territory of LASMA. Vehicles are obstructing free flow of traffic. They have a mandate where they can bring in tow trucks and remove all this excesses.
So this vehicle obviously is not roadworthy.
Absolutely not.
Because, using leaves to wipe your vehicle. And when are you starting this enforcement? Because we also want to know how we can help as Nigerians, because your work is meant to help us. So we go to work safe, come back home safe. I mean, I was at your office recently. It was quite impressive to see the work that the men are doing, testing the vehicles for emission, for different things, whether the arm brakes work, whether the joints and the rest. So it's impressive. And I think a lot of people, you've seen that, commending the service for that. But for the commercial vehicles, when is this enforcement starting?
It's already started. So right now, I don't want to give you all the details, but we're test running a cluster of things. So since January, we've been to various locations, not where you would see 1 or 2 or 3 PIS officers trying to apprehend. So we go in teams of 50 or 60, kind of like show of force.
So you don't get beat up or something?
Something like that.
Because these are the yellow downfall drivers, and some of them are powerful.
You hardly see them in your office to come and do inspection. Hardly.
Hardly, yes, you're absolutely correct, because they cannot pass. That's
when
just the bottom
line. When you say
line.
they cannot pass, how do you mean?
They can't pass the test.
Pass the test, okay.
They can't pass the minimum standard. So what we do, for the ones that cooperate, we go to the parks. And every park has a chairman, and Mr. Chairman, I'm going to be as blunt as possible. Do you want me to close this park down? I can. That's the last resort. So in collaboration with the chairman, this vehicle, I'm not having that. But as a last resort, then we go in those clusters and we go to different places to enforce. But here lies the challenge. When you do that, 9 times out of 10, all the vehicles are usually full of passengers, right? So it's a conundrum whether I want to enforce on this. I'll give you a story. I myself, I was coming from work, going to work in the morning, I saw this downfall at Antoni. It was an eyesore. Luckily, some officers were around. I stopped the car and pulled them over. Everybody, please come down. This vehicle is not worthy of being on Lagos State Road. First thing, everybody except for the driver and the conductor. Sir, please, can you let him drop us off where we are going? No, it's not. It's funny, but it's not funny. Can you let him drop us off where we are going? Because 1, we will not get another transport, and 2, he will not give us our money back.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense. Yeah. So I said, and I pulled all of them outside. I said, take a look at the vehicle that you are entering. I mean, if I close my eyes and let it go, other people will see it and say, this is what Lagos State is allowing the road. I can't do that. Let me tell you what I'm going to do, though. So I called the driver and the conductor. So I'm going to give you 2 choices, right? Either you give them back their money, right? They take the vehicle to the office,
right,
and you're going to go and fix it. Or I give them their money.
And you give me back?
No, okay. I give them their money, and you will never see this vehicle again.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Honestly, I would like to thank you so much for this conversation. We wish we could go on and on. By the way, you're a good representation of what we expect in our law enforcement agencies, and we look forward to this being replicated. By the way, the Morning Brief would like to join you on one of those operations.
Okay.
Yes, we'd like to.
Fantastic.
We'd like to come live.
Real time.
Yeah.
Real time on television.
Okay.
Real time.
Perhaps adorn one of your uniforms.
Mr. Aki George Fashola, we'd like to thank you so much. Thank you for your time and walking us through this process. We hope we can keep this engagement ongoing. Thank you for your time. Wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it. That's the show for today. As always, we give you a packed show. We're back tomorrow with more. Perhaps we'll join the VIS on that operation. I'm Kayode Okigilu. Thank you for watching.
I wonder what that would look like, but it's something definitely worth looking forward to. Don't forget that the Sunrise Daily team is standing by already. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.
Always try as much as possible to stay happy. I'm Jeffrey. I'll see you tomorrow.